So Kotter has this 8-step model for implementing effective change programs. But we ain't got time for that. We got losses to eradicate. So let's see how we can use the same idea but a lot quicker for our improvement projects. Hello, I'm Tom. Welcome to my channel where we talk about continuous improvement in an industrial setting. And today's video is like a shortcut in the by itself very good 8-step change model by Kotter. But this model, it is you can use it for small change, but the idea is that you build your entire change program in this way, and you make sure that you have everything locked in place so that you really push forward your coalition communication results and get it into the company culture. And that might seem very overwhelming, especially if you are just sort of doing a wave of improvements or planning a small roadmap in part of your organization. But the model still really holds just in a, let's discuss it in a practical way. And that is exactly what this video is about. But before that, let's take a recap on what the change model is, so the 8-step model. And the way I will explain it is the big change program way. This is the Kotter way especially for management, for transition managers, for your CI managers, performance excellence managers, when they are making a program to really change the culture of your company, implement lean or implement a Six Sigma way of thinking. Stuff like that is a real cultural change program. This same thing will be used for different types of culture change programs, but in our continuous improvement world, those are the examples over there. And what Kotter says is, well, first of all, you need to create a sense of urgency. So a lot of people need to understand that the current way of working will not do. Something needs to change for our company to survive. And then you need a change coalition. So make sure that the group of people leading this change, the group of people being the examples, being the steering groups, communicating it to the rest of the organization how important they think it is, they should be strong leaders within your organization. And the example he takes in the book is, well, if you have one quality officer and a human resource manager, and those two are really going to push changes in a traditional production organization, that is not going to work, because you don't have any of the line managers, you don't have the real decision makers of such an organization. Then you create a good change vision. So really, what are you going to do? It has to be appealing. There's a whole chapter devoted to this, but you need to have a very good idea of what you're going to do, and also the type of idea that you can communicate. And one of the things that Kotter really goes for in his talks, in his book, is it's almost impossible to over-communicate. So really spread that vision. Let your coalition spread the vision everywhere where they can. Make sure you also communicate the results. That will be a bit later. So really take every opportunity to again say, oh, our change vision, this relates to it. Or those programs, these are first results. Lots of communication. Then you empower action. So you make sure that everyone gets the tools to make the change, to try the change, that you get the training. You really push this possibility to change into your organization. You really support everyone who wants to start up, who wants to try a bit. You know that they will get into problems at first, because when you change your way of work, it is always more difficult. You are not used to this way. You will make a couple of mistakes. You will probably not understand fully. So empower those people who are trying to make the change, who are taking the action. So empower action. Then ensure some quick wins. So make sure you get results, tangible results that you can show relatively quickly. Now, the examples actually in Kotter's book are you need to show results within a year or so. So that is already very illustrative of the change, the scope, the size of the programs that he is talking about. But for us, exactly the same will also be in there. But you need to make sure that you show some direct result. And that might not be the most optimal total situation, but you just need to get people on board by showing that it works. Then, when you get those first results, really make sure that you continue down the same path. So you got your first results, but that's not enough. Some people will, in your organization, probably, oh yeah, see, indeed, it worked, wonderful. So let's now focus somewhere else. That is a big pitfall. So make sure that you continue on top of those first results and get the real underlying improvements of the structure, improvements of your organization, and make it stick. So make sure that the new way of working becomes the habit for people, so that this becomes the new way of working, that it's embedded in the culture, and that it's in fact difficult to go back to the previous system. Now, what is also said about this 8-step model is, please do them in order. So what you can do is, already when you are building this sense of urgency, also build up your change coalition, so find the right people, inform them, but don't go ahead more than one step. Don't be working in 4 steps at the same time, or even worse, jump over the first ones and first make a vision, then empower people to strive for the vision, but you haven't really ensured that there is a sense of urgency in the broader organization. That is not a strong coalition. So jumping ahead will almost ensure failure in a change program. And take them step by step, maybe at 2 at the same time. While you're finishing one, you can already really start the second. So this for an improvement project, those are often 3-month projects, something like that, right? You can try to apply this on a 1-week Kaizen event. That basically has sort of the same, but then I don't know how useful it will be, but see it more as in a year of improvement roadmap, maybe also within the span of 1 3-month-ish improvement project. But you use the same idea of thinking about how you manage those projects and how you take the priority of which of the projects that we found in our loss analysis do we attack first. So let's take a bit of a look in that. So a sense of urgency. What that means is, well, you do need to find a problem. You need to have or a problem or a very, very strong wish of improvement. And that is something, basically, when you problem solve or when you find a loss in your loss analysis, if you can also add to that in a benchmark you are clearly worse than competitors or than another factory in the same group, or you see it's a lot worse than last year, or you don't make your targets, all kinds of things like that, make sure that you give the problem all the time and headlight that it deserves. Put your problem in the spotlight, make sure that people throughout the organization, so there's and management and shop floor and support specialists, understand that this really is something that you need to solve. Now, the change coalition, I mean, for a huge program, you have to think about all kinds of people to involve there and balance it. But here, basically, for any improvement program, any improvement project, and also for the broader improvement program, you just need to make sure that management is involved. And instead of an overarching vision that you have together with the change coalition to communicate broadly in your organization, a improvement project or a problem-solving team, or even the 1-year roadmap, should have very clear goals or targets. So really make explicit what you are changing, why you want to reach this, what will be the result of this change effort, and what will it do for the people, what will it do for our performance indicators, for the company result. Make sure that you have a clear goal and some good targets. Now, when we go to communicate, it will basically stay the same. So I'll write communicate there as well, but in communication for a change project, so one improvement project, it is important that you communicate the goal, the target, and that actually this management, and that is what you will find in Kotter as well, the change coalition has to communicate the vision. So here, take this piece of advice from Kotter really to heart. Management needs to commit the resources, put the target out there, and it would be best, and actually in my previous video we've been talking about this, management should be putting the continuous improvement specialists as the help for the organization. So it will not be this CI specialist is going to implement a program and they are going to do something with 5S, please assist them. No, from management, really try to get them to say, we are going to implement a 5S system because we have been, whatever it is, losing equipment in our product, we are losing time, we are not getting through audits, whatever reason and why you make it big, management will say, this is what we are going to do, and luckily the specialists from our CI department are going to help us with it. So that type of communication up front and during the process, and here also, I mean, you need things like newsletters, direct on the shop floor communication. If you have team leader meetings, stuff like that, make sure that you're in there, you get a little bit of time on those agendas, that you have trainings and workshops on the shop floor when you're still designing the solution. So when you're thinking about how to implement this before you are really doing anything on the line or in the processes, do workshops. So get some of the shop floor colleagues to tell you what things are wrong, how to implement, what type of changes to get involvement. Communicate a lot. And then we also translate the empowerment. I'll write both of them here. Instead of empowering action in a broad sense of the word, you support those people that are in the team, and you support the team. So it depends a little bit on the type of project, the type of improvement project that you are running, coaching, supporting, how active your role will be. But as a general rule, try not to have your CI department run your improvement projects. So maybe they will be the team leaders, that's okay, especially in the beginning, but a better role would be the supporting role, or bringing some of the knowledge, or inviting technologists or maintenance specialists into the team. But there you already see, usually those technologists, maintenance specialists, quality engineers, they are not in the CI department per se. So you fly in the resources, the knowledgeable resources. You make sure that you also get some shop floor people who are working with the lines or the processes into your team, a good team lead. Make sure that there is a sponsor from management, and that actually is already a very big part of the support you can offer the team. Even making sure that the team has the resources they need is a great way to start supporting them. Next to that, when they are busy, you can already look ahead a little bit and see, wait, they might run into problems with, let's say, the maintenance department not having the resources to do mechanical fixes, or they are going to run into, I don't know, big production weeks, and we cannot really free up people. So you can sort of clear the obstacles in their path, especially for people who are not too used to running projects. That type of support is ideal. That is something how you can empower people to make basically the improvement projects easier for them, so that they can focus on, let's say, the nice parts of a project, so really doing stuff, and don't have to worry too much about, well, basically the dark side of project management, which is make sure you have resources, but also really fight with the obstacles, communicate with the management team, make sure that things are moving ahead. And then we're on to the next one, which is to ensure a number of quick wins. Now, for a single improvement project, yeah, well, basically, you often go so fast that it's not that important, but at least you share the changes that you made, you share the first wins, and you make sure things are visible, right, to your colleagues. But when you're talking a little bit broader, so you've got your yearly roadmap of improvement projects, or you have, for instance, the start of your CI at a factory, and you have a big launch, and now you're picking the first projects to start a pillar or to start a program, you make sure that the first projects that you do are really the hunter type of projects. So killing losses, very visible, and make sure that the visibility of your improvement is more important than the direct cash generated or the, let's say, purely objective business goal. Make sure you have a visible result, a visible improvement. And then another one, which will not really be, let's say, within one improvement project usually, and that is to continue to build upon the change and make sure it stays rolling and you go into continuous improvement mode. Well, this, of course, within our programs and within our roadmaps, it should speak for itself, but this really is also key that you do it from the CI department together with management. Make sure that as soon as you do, as soon as you finish an improvement project, that you allow for additional changes, additional improvements on that same project. During the time of the project, you probably also got new ideas, and there are further improvements to make. So maybe it's not directly the next cycle of improvements, but at least, in a cycle or so, support change. If it's not by your central team, then at least by the people on the shop floor, people that were involved in the whole improvement, that they can make the second improvement and the third improvement and build upon the lessons learned, build upon the systems that you implemented, and further improve the standards. So, continuous improvement, and then make it stick. Well, this is something we talk about quite a lot when we're discussing improvement projects, when we're discussing problem solving. You make your quick wins, you make your continued improvements, but there is this difficulty that a new standard always takes time to become a habit. So I have almost no doubts that you can really make a good change. I mean, it's not always successful, you don't always find a root cause, but generally implementing changes is pretty doable. The real difficult part of good lean and of good continuous improvement is in making sure that it really becomes a habit, so that the improvement, the improved way of working, materials, settings, that they stay for longer than 3 to 6 months. I mean, that is sort of the period during which it is almost for free, almost easy that your improvements will stay. You set a new set of parameters, you trained the whole group of operators that works on this line, and they will understand what needs to be done. It's still fresh in their mind. They knew why this was an urgent problem. You communicated with them a lot why you are doing this, what is the target, and they made the improvement. So they see things have improved. They still understand with the training, it is still the new and important thing. But after about 6 months or so, you will get maybe some new operators in the department, but definitely you will get different problems because life goes on, and also improvement life goes on. So you will build on it, you will continue and put your focus on some other parts of the operation, and people tend to sort of slip back into the old habits, and you lose the advantages, you lose the new way of working that you worked so hard on. If you sort of forget the last two, but especially the last step, then you will be doing lots of great work, and after a year you can, well, start over again, because what you did a year ago it's probably faded away. You take this problem, then when you're 3 months into that journey, well, the thing that you did second last year has now slipped away. So you can definitely be improving continuously, but your organization will not actually improve unless you follow everything until the end and also embed the changes. So you see that actually this pretty serious change program model, this whole culture change model by Kotter, also has really practical things for us in improvement project, and especially also if you make a small improvement roadmap where you know that you have to make sure everyone understands that it is needed to change, get management on board. And this is line management. So the team leader and the department manager of the place where you're going to make the changes, they really have to support it. For them to support it, top management has to agree. So this cannot, if your improvement directive comes from a global performance excellence team and your plant manager doesn't believe in it, you have a difficult time. Good goals. Tell people what you are going to do, why this is wonderful, what results you'll be striving for, but also what type of changes, what's in it for them. Communicate, communicate, communicate. So this is at the start, during, when you are thinking of your solutions, when you've implemented the first things, share it, congratulate people, communicate a lot. Make sure that those people that are in improvement teams, who are usually not true trained project managers, that they basically have some easy sailing because you are making sure that they get all the support they need. That is the best thing you can do from a CI standpoint, is not to do the change, but to support the people doing the change. Make sure that especially the first problems that you solve are very visible, and that any problem that you solve is made visible. So that people see, hey, things are changing, and it's always nice to work in an organization where things are improving. Things are slowly sailing down, and that really saps motivation. But if you see that, oh, we are really making steps, that's just nice for people. You get more energy in it. When you have those first quick wins that may not have been the most critical or strategic for your company, build on it and build on those systems to get the next level and to really go deep into the performance, and make sure that your systems support not falling back. So they immediately flag when things are slightly drifting into the old situation again. And like that, you have a much better chance of getting good, successful quality, performance improvements in your organization. So I hope you liked this video about how to use this huge 8-step model for also smaller projects. If you do, don't forget to hit that like button, and let me know in the comments what type of questions or topics would you like me to discuss, or are there some ideas how do you do this in your company? I'd be happy to know, happy to discuss, and it might also be a very nice seed for a next video. For now, I wish you the best of luck in your continuous improvement journey, and as always, don't forget to also enjoy that journey.